Hello guys, welcome to Patriot J News, and I'm your host, Patriot J. Boy, was it exciting day today. Very, very exciting day. We had the Democrats, they put the Obamacare thing up for a vote today, and it brought some very good entertainment because Antifa they're all the same. All the leftist crazy cults are the same. They ran in there on the Senate floor and started screaming, "You're killing us! You're killing us! Stop! Shame! Shame on you!" That's what they did. But it went for a vote, and the nuclear option had to be put in place, and it went through. All this is for just to propose the next bill and to talk about it. To talk about it because the Democrats won't show up. They won't even bother to show up for legislation. But they'll sit there and go on Twitter and every other chat site and poke fun at Trump and say, "What have you passed? What have you passed?" Well, they won't even show up to vote. You can't pass nothing if you don't show up to vote. So I guess we're going to have to nuclear option everything. And that's what we did today. So they can suck it. I'm going to go ahead with this article and show you what went on if you missed it. Here we go. GOP healthcare bill clears first huge hurdle in Senate. It says the Senate narrowly votes on Tuesday to open debate on the Republican effort to overhaul healthcare, kicking off a furious voting process after tumultuous arguments within the GOP. And yes, we have some closet Democrats in the GOP. We had two female senators who voted against it. And if we'd had one more, we wouldn't have been able to do it. Anyway, it says the procedure vote to begin debate on the House health care bill passed 51 to 50 because they had the nuclear option and they had the vice president in there. It says, as Vice President Mike Pence cast the tie-breaking vote, it came amid the dramatic return of Senator John McCain. And everybody wondered what Big John was going to do. Who cast a crucial vote in favor of the legislation to a week after announcing he had brain cancer. Even with this step, it is unclear whether Republicans will have the votes to eventually repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, the health care law known as Obamacare. Every Democrat voted against the motion on Tuesday, as well as Republican Senator Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski. GOP leadership could not have afforded another defection. Several Republican members who were on the fence about the motion voted for the measure after significant pressure from the Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and the White House Senator Ron Johnson, came to the floor and talked privately with McConnell before finally casting a yes vote. It says the Senate will now begin 20 hours from debate on the health care bill, equally divided between Democrats and Republicans. To get enough Republican senators on board with the motion to proceed, McConnell most likely promised to bring a vote multiple versions of amendments, including the Obamacare Repeal Reconciliation Act, which would repeal the law, and the Better Care Reconciliation Act, which would repeal it and replace it. GOP members said McConnell is most likely assuming both of those measures will fail, and it will then begin a so-called skinny repeal process, a series of amendments that would repeal certain parts of the ACA. If those passed within the shell of the House bill, the Republicans from both sides of Congress will come together in a conference committee to draft a compromise. I applaud the Senate for taking a giant step to the end of Obamacare nightmare, President Donald Trump said in his statement. As this vote shows, inaction is not an option, and now the legislative process can move forward as intended to produce a bill that lower costs and increases options for all Americans. The Senate must now pass a bill and get it to my desk so we can finally end the Obamacare disaster once and for all. It says, here's a rundown of what could happen from here. 20 hours of debate in legislative time will begin, split equally between Democrats and Republicans. The First Amendment to be voted on is likely to be ORAA to satisfy conservative holdouts, Rand Paul, and other conservatives. This plan is likely to be shot down by moderates. The First Amendment to be offered procedurally, with the second to be voted on, the news website Axios reported, would be the BCRA, which was last updated on Thursday. Again, Republicans can afford only 2 defections. According to reports, there's agreement between Senator Rob Portman and a moderate holdout and Senator Ted Cruz, a conservative, on the amendment that would keep the structure of the BCRA but allow insurers to sell non-Obamacare compliant policies and throw in $100 billion in a state stabilization fund. But since that would require 60 votes to pass, and it has not been scored by the Congressional Budget Office, it is almost certainly doomed, since there is only 52 Republicans in the state Senate, or in the Senate. There could then be a series of amendments to the House bill, including those from Democrats. Additionally, other health care legislation could be slotted for the vote. Finally, McConnell will try to push the Senate to pass a bundle of smaller amendments focused on repealing aspects of the ACA, like the individual mandate and medical device tax. After this, the House and Senate would flesh out a full replacement bill in a conference committee. So these are some things, and I thought I would bring this to you so you could see and hear what happened. It was hilarious to listen to them. You're killing us! You're murdering us! I loved it. Because you know what? I have no sympathy for them. I say let's repeal it and screw it and forget it. And watch it just die. Go away. I mean, because I look at it like this. You bring Antifa into my country, you try to overthrow my country, and then you try to overthrow my vote, I don't have nothing for you. Screw you. That's the way I feel about the Obamacare. So, tell me what you think in the discussion. And hope you enjoyed it. But that's the breakdown on what happened. I'm your Southern Voice for your news. And I love you and I love America. And God bless.